Hello and welcome to my truck. My name's Roy. I'm a home cook, an amateur baker, and I'm here on this channel typically sharing recipes that have helped me to lose over 125 pounds, whether those recipes are mine or someone else's. Today, obviously no recipe. Today I am doing another truck chat and taking you along with me as I go shopping. I'm going to make two stops today. One is to BJ's, which is a wholesale club, kind of like Costco or Sam's Club. And then I also have to go grocery shopping for a few things, for recipes and for our breakfasts and things like that, because it is the beginning of the week, and that's usually when I go, either Sunday or Monday. Today is Monday. I just didn't feel like going out yesterday. So I decided I'd go out today while Paul is working. And I also realized as soon as I got into the truck that I need gas. So I will also be making a pit stop to get some gas so I don't run out on my way to the store and get stranded. That would not be fun. Now, as far as my weight, I actually went up 1.2 pounds this week. So it's not as bad as it could have been. I didn't gain back all that I lost, but I also wasn't as good on the weekend as I could have been this weekend as well as last weekend. So I'm trying, as I've said before, to get myself back under control. But one thing I've noticed is that a lot of times when I'm in that frenzy, it's almost like a frenzy when I'm eating like that. It's like my body feels like revved up, like anxious or something is going on. So often what will help is if I just take a deep breath and let it out, maybe more than one. And it kind of like calms me down a little bit, gives me a little time to think before I actually go into the kitchen and start pigging out again. Now, does that always work? No, because there are also the mental processes going on in my head that want to sabotage me for some reason. Or, I mean, I know I don't want to go back to where I was on diabetes medication, using a CPAP, on blood pressure medication. I don't want to go back to that. So I got to keep being mindful of that aspect. And I've also noticed a big difference in how my body works now as opposed to when I had the extra weight on with my myopathy and neuropathy. That was not helping me at all, having all that extra weight that I also had to try to move, as well as having malfunctioning body issues. So I have to kind of keep those things in mind, know that I don't want, and I know it. We all know it. We all know what we should be doing, what we need to do, but doing it is not always easy, despite knowing the truth. One thing I keep thinking about is how, like, if it were my child, I wouldn't let them just keep indulging like this. I would give them boundaries. I would give them restrictions. Yes, you can have one cookie or one whatever, and not let them go on a rampage. So why can't I do that for myself? Why can't I give myself that same care that I would give to a child in a similar situation, if you know what I mean? So those are the things I'm trying to focus on to get myself back on track and eat more mindfully. Like today we had some leftover pizza for lunch, which may not have been the best of meals, but I did take the time to use a knife and fork, which Paul always laughs at me for, and cut everything up so I was more mindful of the eating, and I definitely felt fuller. All right, I'm pulling into the gas station, so give me a moment and I'll be back. Okay, so I got my gas. Now I'm heading on the road again, heading over to BJ's. I just need a few things over there. I have to get some paper towels, some toilet paper, some coffee, creamer, just a few things. I think I'm going to get my flour there as well because I can get a big package. I don't go through flour as much as I used to when I was baking more often, but I still do go through it. And I just prefer having it on hand, making sure I have it on hand. A little 5-pound bag doesn't really cut it for me. So I'm going to go for the bigger one and also probably get my minced garlic over there as well. And I don't know if I'll do like I did last week and show my grocery haul at the end of this or not. But I may. I don't know. It depends on how long this actually runs. I may actually cut it into something separate. I don't know. It depends on... I don't want this to be too long. But anyway, we were talking about taking care of ourselves as if we were taking care of our kids. And yes, I know there are some parents who are very lenient with their kids. I don't think I would have been that way. I've never had kids. I do have stepkids and grandchildren and things like that through Paul, but I never had any of my own. But I would think that I would not let them run roughshod over the eating like I do with myself. So I have to start treating myself like a child, I guess, a child that I care about, so I can get myself in control and not let myself get into a dangerous habit, which could very easily happen. It's happened many times before. And like I said last week, this is the first time that I've still kept trying. I didn't just say, okay, I've made it and that's it. So I am still working on it. I just need to get better at working on it. I mean, I lasted 2 years without gaining any weight back, and then I slowly let it start creeping in. And I'm sure many of us have a similar story where it's like you kind of overlook a little bit, but then that little bit keeps piling up, and before you know it, you're 25 pounds heavier than you want to be. So I really do have to crack down. Oh, and if anyone is curious about what my shirt says, it says, am I perfect? No. But am I trying to do better? Also, no. I just find it funny. I mean, I am trying. That is a lie. So it's not, but I just think it's so funny because it's so contrary to the typical thing you'd see, the whole platitude of, but I'm trying to do better. So anyway, I find it funny. I hope you do too. Paul is not keen on a lot of the t-shirts that I have because he doesn't find them as amusing as I do. But that's life. Doesn't always work the same for everybody. Just like our weight loss journeys. I guess that brought me right back to where I was. But speaking of weight loss journeys, a few of the things that I'm picking up are for this Friday's video. And I'm going to be doing a recipe that is not mine. I'm going to be doing one of Pound Dropper's, I'm pretty sure it's Pound Dropper's, for her lightened morning glory muffins, because that's Paul's favorite muffin. And I've made them before, so I know this is a good recipe. So it's not like I'm trying it with you all. I know this one works. So that is what's coming up. I'm also thinking, I've seen a video by Gemma Stafford who does Bigger Bolder Baking. It's a channel I've followed for quite a while. I love her channel. She did some popsicles, tie-dye popsicles that you don't need a popsicle mold for. You just do it in a loaf pan. You put plastic wrap on top and sticks through the plastic wrap to hold them in place. I'm thinking of doing a version of that, especially now that summer's here. But I was thinking, we're trying to get our grandson to visit for a few days. If you saw, I think my second live, he made an appearance, Brian. But I'm thinking of waiting until he's here and maybe having him make them with me. He's not really an ice cream fan, it never has been. I guess his father said that he's gotten a little better about it. He's eased up his restrictions a bit about eating ice cream. So he might actually enjoy this, I hope. But we shall see. But that's possibly coming up in the works. Even if it doesn't come up with him, I will probably end up trying it myself. But I will be doing it cold, not knowing how they will be, which, I mean, plenty of people do recipes like that. So that's actually 2 that aren't mine. What a shock. I am still working on, I have 2 recipes that I've been working on. One is a marble pound cake, kind of. It's not in a pound cake, like in a loaf, like a typical pound cake, but it has that texture of a pound cake, but it's in a 9x13 pan. I get it to taste good, I just need to work on the texture. So I have a few plans for that. The other one I've been working on, which also has a texture issue, but it's improved in the second round as opposed to the first. We ended up throwing out the first round. Just the texture, we couldn't get past it. Is for a banana split. I was going to call it a banana split dump cake, but it's not specifically a dump cake. Then Paul suggested I do it as a banana split upside down cake, which is great, except it's in a big 9x13 pan, which you really can't flip out onto anything. And he said, well, you don't have to flip out the whole thing. What if as you take out each piece, you turn it upside down? So that is something I'm also working on. So, and again, that was a texture issue. The second time was better, but it was still a little too dense, so I need to work on that. So I have 2 things I want to try, and what I will probably end up doing is making 2 half cakes, one with each version, and see how each one works. So that's the goal at the moment. So those are 2 things that I'm working on. I really do need to work on more dinners and savory items because Paul tells me I'm too focused on desserts. But I think, like a lot of us, we are focused on dessert. So if we can have a dessert that we can actually enjoy and is not going to contribute to a weight gain, I think that's the way to go. So those are a couple of the things I have in the works. I know that people have put in requests that I still plan on working on for carrot cake, coconut cake. I know there are a few other things listed. I know there's a fudge that I'm still trying to work on. I've tried numerous times and I cannot get it to set. So that's still in the works. So there are things in the works, but if you guys have any savory items that you'd be interested in seeing me try to revamp, let me know down in the comments and I will add that to the list of things that I will be working on. It's just difficult sometimes to do a lot of these experiments if they don't go right the first time. Because I am on a fixed income, it's not as easy to experiment a lot. So that's why there are sometimes gaps in between my experiments, because I can't go pick up the items or what have you at the moment, and I have to wait until the beginning of the month to get the ingredients that I need for another experiment. So it does sometimes take me a little time, but I am still working on things. Don't you worry. All right, so I'm almost at BJ's. I'm going to sign off here for now, but I will be back either to say goodbye, to keep on rambling, or to show you my grocery haul. So we shall see. But one thing I do know, I will be back. Okay, so I finished my shopping at both places. I didn't get anything really more than I needed, which is unusual for me. But non-scale victory, an SV coming up, I didn't buy anything to snack on. I was very tempted to buy a little something for the ride home, and I did not. No little snack, no little sweet treat. So I feel good about that. And now I am just heading home and going to put all of this stuff away. I had to pick up some ice because we have a Samsung refrigerator, and apparently they are notorious for their ice makers no longer working. So we have to buy ice to put into the ice maker to get crushed ice out of it. So I have to buy ice like once a month to fill that up. But I did get a little TikTok video from my friend Jennifer Lynn, who has the same kind of refrigerator and the same problem. And supposedly you can call them and they'll have someone come out. So I am going to try that, if not today, then tomorrow. Although tomorrow I will be recording my Friday video. Usually I record Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesdays, depending on my mood, my body, etc. I think I'll call them tomorrow. And I also have to get a plumber because our faucet in the kitchen is like extremely loose. I don't know why, and it just keeps getting worse. And then we have a couple of other things we need them to look at, so that I will do probably when I get home, because I'm going to use that Thumbtack app. We used that once before for an electrician, and that worked out really well. So I will try that again for the plumber. Not that we really need another expense, but that is the problem with owning a home, is you have to pay for all of these things. You don't have a landlord to do it for you. You have to take care of it yourself. But we really do love the house, especially since we had it remodeled. Oh, and I was thinking of doing, and let me know down in the comments if you think this is a good idea, I was thinking of doing a kitchen tour to show what you don't typically see during one of my videos. So let me know if that is something that interests you. I will look into doing that. Also, as I've mentioned previously, I don't know if it was in my truck chat, but I think it was in my tag. I am working on getting a cookbook together, well, two actually. One for main dishes, and I'm going to break that up into breakfast, brunch, lunch, and then dinner. And then also a dessert one. And I was thinking that once I've designed the covers, maybe I would do it like 3 different versions and then have you guys vote on it to let me know what you think would be the best looking cover. So let me know also what you think of that idea, if you think that you'd be interested in me sharing the cookbook covers as I create them, just so that you guys have a vote in how it ends up looking. I am still working through all of my recipes, trying to get them situated so that they will look good in a cookbook, and I can only do that sporadically. I can't sit at the computer for too long, which is partly why my editing often takes most of the day, if not 2 days, is because sometimes I will sit there and I just can't sit at the computer anymore. My body starts giving me issues, so I have to go and relax it. And it is taking me a little time to get the recipes converted into the format that I need them in, but it is happening. I am working on it. All right, well, I am almost home. I'm getting near my exit. Okay, now on to the grocery haul. Okay, so for the grocery haul, I want to go fairly quickly so my ice doesn't start to melt. I got at BJ's 2 giant things of Bounty paper towels, and for Paul I got some Claritin and some Flonase there. I actually found coupons for them on their app, so that was good. I have a big pack of Cottonelle that will last us quite some time. I have some Pecorino Romano there. Sometimes I'll get that instead of Parmesan. My minced garlic, which you know I always get the jarred. I do have some actual fresh garlic, but usually I use the minced. 2 things of Coffee Mate creamer. Paul uses that in his coffee. I typically do not, but we like to have some on hand so that he's not running out. And then, as I mentioned, I got a big thing of flour. It's 12 pounds, and I definitely needed more flour. So our coffee cups that we have our coffee in the morning, that we get the 12-ounce size. And then 3 of the coffee. We used to get, BJ's had a Kona blend, and that's what Paul prefers, but they haven't had that for quite some time. So we have Colombian instead. I found a coupon on their app for some Thomas's English muffins, and I was going to get some anyways. This is the 18-pack, and they're the 100-calorie. These are only like 3 bites or points each. So I like to have those on hand. We'll make a breakfast sandwich sometimes, or sometimes just have a little snack later with maybe some pumpkin butter or some sugar-free jelly or something like that. And then there's kombucha here. Paul loves kombucha. That's for him. I don't usually have it. I don't remember the bites and points. Maybe I'll check and put that right here on the screen. And I think I needed some color bleach, so I grabbed that. I'm not positive that I did. And then I got this almond milk because it was much cheaper at BJ's. It was like $4.79, and at the supermarket it was like $6 something. So I got that. There's my 10 pounds of ice that has to go into the freezer. 2 packs of Cheerios. I got them because they were on sale and I had a coupon. So they were $3.99 each, and then I had $1 off of 2. And then some graham crackers. I would have only gotten 1, but they were buy one, get one free, and I like to snack on those. I will have a single graham cracker for 2 bites, and then put maybe a teaspoon or so of the Better Than Peanut Butter chocolate for like 0 bites, but you can have a whole tablespoon for 1 bite. But I think I get 0 if I just use a teaspoon. And then I got some sugar-free pistachio pudding because Paul likes pistachio. I have others in the cabinet, but that one Paul likes, so I made sure I got some of that. I got some lower sodium bacon, which was a fairly good price for the store brand. It was like 5 something. And I got the lower sodium because Paul has been watching his sodium. And when I made breakfast this weekend, the regular bacon that I use was too salty just as it was. So I got some lower sodium so I can make that for him. I got some baking soda because we needed some of that. Paul likes this pure unsweetened cranberry. He likes that mixed with his kombucha. I usually do about 1/3 of each and then top it off with a little seltzer. And then I needed some Worcestershire sauce. I can't say that even without the problems with my jaw. And then like last week, I got some Dannon Leighton Fit Greek yogurt. Again, I will have about 100 grams of that for breakfast, and that is just 1 bite or Blue Point. And that I will pair with half a banana. Paul and I will split a banana. Some strawberries. Usually each of us gets 2 strawberries chopped up depending on the size, and some blueberries. Now blackberries I got because the berries here were all buy 2 get 1 free. I don't normally get blackberries, but I know Paul would enjoy that, and I don't mind blackberries. Raspberries I do not like, but blackberries have an earthier flavor. They're not so sharp, so I don't mind those. But that will all go into our yogurt in the morning. I got 2 little snack packs of pistachios because Paul loves pistachios. I got an orange here, and that is for the Morning Glory muffins, as is one of these Granny Smith apples. I only need 1, the other 2 I will snack on. And last but not least, my Sara Lee Delightful bread. This is the bread I typically get, the Delightful 45. It's 1 bite per slice. 2 is, I think it's once you get to 3, it might go to 4. But this is the bread that I generally use. So that is it. That is everything I got at both stores. And I will sign off now that you've seen all of my groceries for the day. And I hope that you enjoyed seeing what I bought and hearing my chat. Don't forget to respond to those questions down below about the cookbook covers, if you guys would be interested in voting for those, and if I should do a kitchen tour. You can already see part of it here, but do you want to see the whole thing? Let me know down below. All right. So until next time, guys, bye.